assure you I smell it.
I promise.
I assure you.
God, I was here before you came in. Yeah, you're not.
That is
It's still
partially,
here before.
partially my.
You sit up next to me now. I call your own cheddar.
I tell people that I write with you once in a while, I'm like, it's kind of weird. I feel bad for myself. I get used to it.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think when the stress smells like dog feed constantly, and I get in it.
I make sure I post that on Facebook and tag everybody in it, all the council members.
The list.
The list.
Yeah. Oh.
That should be a good one. I'll tag you in, Mr. Baker, so you can share this nice dandy list.
Mine's on there.
There's a couple that I'm getting tomorrow morning.
If you're yellow, you pay.
Oh, okay, doesn't sound on there.
Yeah.
If you're white, you haven't paid.
Yeah. Or turn in an application for the year.
Or paid sales tax ever,
Which like,
the city of Dixon.
Donnie doesn't do any work in the city.
Kinda weird.
So-
Right, and I called him again today and asked, what he wanted. I tried talking about it, I just left him a voicemail.
What do you think about that, Robert? You think a business should be able to operate in our town without sales tax? What's your opinion on it?
If they collect a sales tax, if they're required to collect sales tax, then they have to.
Is that, would you go on record and state that?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Department of Revenue has the sales tax collected.
I have not heard.
It's an ice cream truck. Yeah.
Glad you think that way, Mr. Baker.
Oh, man.
Glad you think that way.
I'll tell him.
Please don't, hey, please, after a while, please don't change your opinion on that though.
And that big red truck with the VCR on it.
If it's covered by state laws that sales tax is supposed to be collected, collect sales tax.
I agree with you. Wholeheartedly. What do you think about somebody like not paying sales tax here and trying to pay it somewhere else because it's a lesser rate? Do you think that would be wrong or right?
It depends on where's the business located.
If the business is located here and they're trying to pay it in the county, how would you feel about that?
Then they need to pay here.
That's not correct either. Anywhere you earn money, you must pay taxes.
But you do believe that?
So if you earn money,
Oh, yeah.
you pay taxes. If you
I can't
earn
listen to
money-
two people.
Are you recording it?
Yeah, they're recording, John.
So, you think, I just need to make sure this is right, that if you're a business here and you're operating here, you should pay sales tax here?
That's correct.
Do you think we should let those businesses be open or not?
And they're required to have a business license. And if they don't have a business license, and they've been operating here, they're supposed to pay $25 a month from the day they're supposed to have that business license till they get one.
No.
And a no tax regime.
I agree.
Actually, they should be penalized for the time that they were operating without paying sales tax.
That's what I was talking about, they got a
So,
penalty.
would you say you would support a person for, like, city council or to work for the city if they weren't doing those things?
But I just pay it back.
No, you go by the rule of law.
That's
What would
right.
you say, Mr. Baker?
You go by the rule of law.
So, but would you support a person that wasn't doing those things?
I can't think of anybody that's not doing it. Can you?
Yep.
That's running for office?
Yep. But thank you guys for both agreeing with that, because I think your opinion will change tomorrow, but thank you guys, truly. Call meeting to order, 6:22. Please annotate that the reason we're running late is our attorney was running late or stuck in traffic or something wrong. So I do apologize. Can you record this on your phone, please?
It's fine.
Yeah, just so we have a chance.
Okay, give me just a second.
I can't believe we actually all agree on something. That don't happen very often. Thank you, Mr. Baker. I've changed my opinion on you. Got your roll call in, are you ready?
Okay, sorry. Okay, roll call. Mike Diane Schultz,
Here.
Anthony Campbell,
Here.
Barb Thomas, Trevor Morrow,
Here.
Mary Wise.
Here.
We have a quorum, 5-0.
Please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Communication. I'll need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second that.
Diane Schultz,
No.
Come on, Diane.
No, because you guys don't have a legitimate budget. No, I will not.
okay.
It hasn't been
Anthony
amended
Campbell,
or nothing.
Yes.
Barb Thomas, oh, sorry, Mike Nolan,
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
Motion carried, 4-1.
I'll need a motion to go into closed session, probably give Mr. Baker 5 minutes to get out of here.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second it.
What's a 5-minute break?
You just got here. Why are you here?
We need to allow Mr. Baker to get out of here, I mean,
Okay, all right.
that's what we're doing.
Okay, Diane Schultz,
No,
Diane, I don't know, and
no,
I probably
no,
need
you don't question my vote. No,
but I don't know.
no, you do not question my vote.
I don't
Anthony
know if she
Campbell.
should be part of the meeting, if she's not acknowledging that we're in a meeting. I'll have to ask Jeff when he gets here, because that's a valid question, I don't know on that one.
Mike, your vote on closed session.
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise. Motion carried, 4-1.
I'll give you time to come back in, so.
I'll make a,
I'll make a motion to go into possession.
I'll second it.
Diane Schultz,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mike Nolan,
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise. Mary Wise.
Mary Wiles.
Yes. I'm distracted, I'm sorry.
Motion carried, 5-0. Open session at 7:28
First on there would be ratify bills, let me know when you guys are ready to approve them. Same bills you guys had last time, we forgot to put ratify on there to get approval, so if you guys have any questions or concerns, we'll try to answer them the best I can.
On the transfer station, it was a payoff of $16,000.
We paid that bill in full.
Okay, I understand. February the 11th, it was paid in full. The $16,000, was that money that was used, that was given from the court, that was given to the city? Or where did the $16,000 come from?
It was in that trash account we set up originally 2 years ago, where we took all the excess funds and put it in the account for that, Mary, or, sorry, Mary, Diane.
Where's the other?
I know.
Okay, the drawings are-
We talked about that 2 years ago, if you remember right, all the excess money from the trash we put in that account. We actually voted, I think, almost a year ago to pay it off, we never did.
Yeah, we did that initially when we were doing the workshop.
I seen it when we were going through bills, we have excess money now, let's pay it off and be done with it, sort of.
Okay, I was just curious. And my other questions were answered.
Thank you, Mary.
I'll make a motion to ratify bills for February.
I'll second that.
Diane Schultz,
This is for January 2021, or no, February 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2021, yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mike Nolan,
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
Motion carried, 5-0.
Next on our agenda would be the update on the sewer plant. Let's see, last week during the thunderstorms, we had lightning strike our sewer plant, which took so it's working probably, I would say, I'm gonna guesstimate at 75% right now. Enviroline's been called out, Our Chance has been notified, so they've been out helping us repair it. It's gonna take a couple, they said about a week to 2 weeks to procure all the motors, electronics, and so forth. So I estimate when that should be done within 3 weeks. Does anybody have any questions or anything on that? It's pretty straightforward, but it was hit pretty good. We walked in there and there was burnt smell everywhere. So there's numerous waters burning. The blowers, which actually aerated everything out there, were burnt too. So they were able to get those up and going. And like I said, we were back up to working about 75%. So
Some of the parts came in today and delivered today.
okay. Yeah. I think the big parts that they had procured, they said we're going to take a week or two. So I'll try to update everybody to either Facebook or someone, but I don't think anybody will notice any difference in the service meantime.
The adjuster to be here tomorrow at 9.
I have 2 questions on that.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard that the sewer plant got broken into, and my second question on that, is that a yes or a no?
No.
No, okay. And then my second question doesn't apply. And it was a lightning strike that hit the plant?
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or concerns on that one? Next on open session would be business license approvals. I'll try to run through it. If you guys want to see any of them, let me know. Jackie Snackette, we have Forever Memories, MMI Plumbing, B Scene Signs Inc. That is that's one that's not local to us, just to give everybody an update. That's the one they're putting a sign in for the Family Dollar that's going in. So since we're done, can we see that?
Who's that?
That's the one from Family Dollar that put a sign in. Sorry, guys.
You want to see it?
Have you said that BC Signs is a contractor for the dollar store?
The new Family Dollar, that's correct. Yeah, if you guys are already without need a motion to approve those business license.
I make a motion to approve the business license.
I'll second it.
Diane Schultz,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mike Noel,
Yes.
Trevor Long,
Yes.
Mary Miles,
Yes.
motion carried 5-0.
Next on the agenda would be list of business license not yet paid for 2021. So just to give everybody a breakdown of how this process works, a month before the new year goes out, we send out a new packet for, each and every business. We send it to the address they have on file. Within that period, there's some things that are required, depending on your type of business and so forth. If you guys want a copy of that, can you provide that? Part of that is though you have to have, let's say you're a general contractor or a construction contractor, you're required to have insurance, general liability and so forth. If you're a retail business, you're required to provide us with a no tax due form. As of now, I'll put that on our Facebook tomorrow. If you guys want a copy of the preliminary list, I'll gladly provide that with anybody that is. Most of them will pay. Actually, we reached out to them today. I think we're down to probably less than 5 or 10. that haven't paid,
Not quite, but
what do you estimate we have left?
All the white ones on the list.
we have, let's see,
1,000 or something.
2 of those are being taken care of to 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably somewhere between 10 and 15.
The importance of this is just this, it's a way of keeping everybody in check, and it's obviously it's revenue for our city. If you're not paying your bills, I mean, it's hard for us to afford new streets and so forth. So again, this is a vital part of the business. We'll put this out on our Facebook to everybody that is due. The big ones and the hard ones to be are sales tax. We still have at least one of them that I'm aware of on this list that hasn't paid sales tax ever in this city of Dixon, so we'll address that, I guess, tomorrow too at the same time. We'll put, when we put the list out on our Facebook page, we'll put the business name and if they're missing a business license or sales tax. Go ahead.
Commons mowing and landscaping is not.
I edged him off, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, some of these are,
You got the generalized list, I've got a list we've already worked through, that's why I say, I think we're down to less than that, so.
I just caught it, so I got it.
You know, there's a couple on there that have moved and so far. No longer
There's a couple that are closed.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
I reached out to everybody today who I thought was still open, operating, having some getting license for.
And I think we got a good turnout today, so we have most of them
Yeah.
taken care of. I'll put out a list tomorrow, tentatively they will have till, which truthfully is up to me, I'll tell you right at the bat, I would probably want to give them no more time because they've already had 60 days. But I think the right thing to do would be to give them till next Monday, to have all their paperwork turned in by close of business, then they will be closed.
And all fees and fines.
Yeah, there's a $25 fee each month that you're behind, so right now they're looking at $75 to do that. Does anybody have any questions, concerns about that one? I think it's pretty straightforward. If you own a business in town, you have to have a business license. If you have a retail business, you need to pay sales tax. I think it's straightforward. I think for the most part, if you own a business, you should know that, but it doesn't seem to be always the case, so.
I have a question. Some of these are not in the city limits, and they don't do business
You're
in
required
the city limits.
Which one?
I'm looking at,
You want to show me?
28 Shots. The bar outside of town.
28 Shots,
They don't do any.
They do.
I don't understand how
She
that-
uses the same business license for, she has some,
Bed and breakfast.
but the breakfast, there's a, whether,
Yeah, and she has paid.
Yeah, Airbnb,
Oh,
And she is paid for the year.
Oh, yeah, she's paid.
Yeah,
okay, so that one's out.
yeah. She's been.
I just wondered how that worked.
A lot of people think what you'll see them do, and this is from a business standpoint, so they'll say, let's like, say City of Dixon, then they'll do DBA as plumbing, you know, or this and that.
I got
They'll do that a lot, so that they can run everything underneath one number,
So
so.
I know that we're supposed to have people have a business license. This might be for the benefit of the community, that if you have people coming from Waynesville and St. Robert and they're doing business here, they should be required to have a business license to perform any work on your home.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So you have to show proof of insurance.
And I know it's one of those things, I don't want people to think like we're nitpicking, but the same token, it's vital to our, you know, we're in a town that we're recovering from, you know, being a $250,000 deficit to now we're starting to flourish, but the same token, I think where we gain our income, gain our revenue, and is doing things proper, and at the same point, doing things proper is having a business license if you're gonna operate in town. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, the thing you gotta remember too is if you work in Waynesville and you're from Dixon, they're gonna ask you to have a business
Same
license
thing.
too, so.
I'll tell you this, if I go to Waynesville or St. Robert or Rolla, I have to have a business license, it's no different, so.
Yeah, wherever you work, you gotta have a business license.
Any more questions, concerns on that one, guys? Like I said, tomorrow afternoon, we'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
We'll make the last of the phone calls, I think everybody's been contacted at this point, but then we'll put a list out on Facebook. That seems to get the most attention.
You can also post, well, I don't know, can you put, this is public information, so you can probably find the post office too.
Okay. Approve your budget for our new building, are we any further in this?
I have a list here. $10,000.
Hey, are you guys looking at used furniture too, or are you just looking at new?
Well, this is pulled from the book of new. I'm up for reviews, if we have time to go over it. Yeah, I will, yeah.
As long as it's
I
good
was thinking they
quality.
have a lot of these government auction places and stuff that are online.
We've tried that though, Diane, I will say, you don't get the best quality there, that's my 2 cents on it. So,
Can you give that, I used to get stuff from city surplus, 20 years old. And fall apart. You got another one?
there's just that, but remember, Diane, think about how many offices are down there, that's why. And honestly, I'll tell everybody, I think that the initial idea what we have is an estimate of 15,000. I think there's 7 offices down there. So you figure you're a little over $2,000 an office. I know it's a lot of money, but at the same token, I think it's money well spent, but I'm open for negotiations on it or what your guys' input
We have
is.
7 offices in that little ambulance shed, I thought I only saw 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's the meeting room too.
Yeah, it's a
that's
break
why I
room
did,
and
sorry,
then,
7. That thing's huge, just so you know, it's bigger than Station Park. Have you been in there with it?
Yeah.
No, our meeting room is larger than this area, our offices are all larger. It's coming together quite well, I'm starting to add the rock today, so.
The reason I don't want us to buy cheap stuff that we have to replace in years.
I'm with you. I'm all. And if we had decent desks right now, guys, I'd be all for taking, like, honestly, as far as I care, I can take my old desk if that's really what you guys want. It doesn't bother me one bit, I can do that. My desk is fairly decent. But the same token, especially up front, we're gonna have a specialized desk right there. Each office, I mean, they're working with that's a hand down as it is now. I don't want to be wasteful of money, but at the same token, I think it's money well spent. We're gonna have a nice new building. I hate to have to put some desk, like, let's use Deanna's desk, that's missing, like, it's missing off, it's peeled off. That's my outlook on it. But I want you guys to make a decision on that, and not us. So what I would like to ideally do is, if we do come to an agreement on this, I would like to, within limit, let each person that's going to be in that office kind of pick out what style desk they would want. Now, we can give them choices, because I want them to be uniform, because I'm a little hater when it comes to stuff being uniform.
And I think that we need to buy one type of desk and that's it.
Well, we can do that too. That's your guys' decision.
Does everybody have insurance guy need?
I'm sure we could probably, that's just.
That's kind of.
But to be honest with you, if you want quality stuff,
I know.
I'm gonna tell you the desk that's in my office,
I'm
and
afraid.
you've seen my office, my desk is a $3,000 desk. So we're talking,
That's what I.
$800. I mean,
I don't really want to spend that much money, but I don't.
and if you guys wanna wait till they're done, we can do that. But my concern with moving old stuff down there is just this, we're gonna move old stuff down there, we're gonna have fresh painted walls, and we're gonna scratch it. So here we are, and that's my only real worry about that. Then we're gonna have to move it back up and get new furniture, we're gonna scratch the walls more. But again, guys, I want us to be all in agreement on this, so I'll take, all in what we can. I think it was included in
I was gonna try
there.
to get it from.
I think this may be included in there, Trevor. I didn't think it was, but I think this is included in there. Not in this, but was included in our initial bid.
So that's what I thought.
I think it was.
Okay.
What he's asking is our podiums, if they were included in the initial bid for the new city hall, and I believe they were. I didn't at first think they were, but I believe they are included. And I believe they were gonna have how much build is that correct?
That's what was discussed at one time, but I looked into that.
I'll get clarification on that all tomorrow too, guys. And like I said, I'm totally open. If you guys want to table it, we can table it. If you guys want to approve it, we can approve it.
I'm trying to approve a budget so they can start buying.
Where are you getting the standard
I mean,
refrigerator?
they had drywall and then taping when I was in there the last time.
I wanna know, because I'll buy one.
You can buy those little baby.
Yeah, why your fridges get white?
You gonna go to Retro on it?
Just like a white, just something that's, can house, our lunches and drinks and stuff.
You can donate this one.
Nothing
Diane, if
special.
you'd like.
No, I'm getting ready to get a refrigerator.
So
I'll
you
buy
can
my
donate
daughter's
some-
open door.
donate this to your own.
Shop, store.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
when you're discussing the putting and that for the council,
Yes.
since the judge will have to use that as well, I'll have some input on there.
Yeah, no, you definitely will. And I think we're gonna build it where it'll be sufficient for you too. We've talked about that.
Well, there are some requirements by OSCO that have to be met, so.
No, we'll definitely bring you in for that. Thank you, Judge.
Can we table this to be a little bit closer to the finish line?
We're
Well,
30, we're
they
30,
can
we're
drive all
30,
over
we're 30
Cleveland
days
back.
to finish line. They're painting tomorrow.
Yeah, they're probably starting to paint tomorrow. They're telling you to start trying to buy
I thought the
stuff.
deadline was March 31st.
That was paid.
Yeah, they
April 12th.
moved that deadline all back. Diane, you know what you're talking about. You were talking about the initial deadline for all the money to be dispersed. I forgot. Daryl, can you tell us, I know you don't like to answer questions, do you know the actual date that it was supposed to be dispersed by?
I hate to tell you, it's been changed so many times.
Dave-
I don't want to give you wrong information, but he's right ahead.
So that's not set in gold, that's just kind of a
My-
projected.
My understanding from what was said at the county commission is there has been a pushback to a later date. I'm very uncomfortable giving you wrong information, but I know it's been pushed back.
Thank you, Daryl. I just knew it had been pushed back. I don't recall the exact date, but I think it's 60 days out, or it's far.
Sounds right, sir.
Thank you, Daryl.
So for that far, I'm not pressed.
Well,
Okay,
if it
you-
takes 4 weeks to ship the furniture, then we are.
The due date for the project to be completed is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
And the project actually being completed is probably less than 30 days at this point.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily, I guess we could be, but to be up here instead of our new building, waiting on furniture is not ideal, but again, I don't want to have too much say so on that.
I mean, how much shopping around did you guys do on this?
Non-stop, man, to be honest with you.
Which is, where's it coming from?
Well, that price on this catalog here is KLog.com.
Is what?
Have you talked to him to see if he can?
No, I have
What is it?
K-log.com.
Actually.
LOGK law?
Place for buying more than one. It's possible.
Do they give deals when you buy bulk?
Everybody's one.
I'm sorry.
No, everybody asked. You guys both asking the same question.
Yeah.
So the question is asked, if we get a discount rate. I am sure once we figure out that we're gonna spend $15,000, we will get some percentage off, guys. What that is, I don't know. I promise you this, if anything will come below this budget, but again,
I
that's.
mean, we can start here.
This is just a guide.
Yeah.
And truly, if you guys would be more comfortable moving old stuff down there, I'm open for that too.
No.
But this is the problem being is, the collector has we need not just one desk, we need 2 desks. There's no desk.
Custom
We can't do what I would call a hunk of junk, for lack of a better word, sorry guys. But that plywood piece down there, it's not gonna be feasible, because now she's in the sitting position with a pass-through window. That's not gonna work for that. So no matter what, we're stuck buying 2 desks there. The rest of the offices, we can move all the furniture down there. I don't think it's feasible, I don't think it's a good
Well,
idea.
there's not a desk in this office.
Yeah, same thing there. So no matter what, we're stuck, but that's probably won't make it through the roof.
Well, maintenance is gonna use these offices too, so
Yeah.
they're going to need
They're
desks.
going
So
to need
if
a
we take their
desk.
desks,
Then
we're gonna
they
have to buy
have
desks
a
for them.
crack desk,
But that's what, because we, when they don't have theirs,
They don't care, but they need something, yeah.
they'll have to have something.
Well, I think, I guess we'll approve that now and go for less.
Oh, we'll need a motion to approve, just so.
I'll make a motion.
Do you have another question, Madam? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just having a hard time with this money. Do we have a place to store our files and stuff down at the city hall?
Yes, so as you walk in, have you been in there recently, Diane?
I haven't been recently, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna use this as the best. So, you have the collector area over here, you have the 2 doors, that'll be a touch-free door, so when we.
Are you going through the front door? Or the back door?
I'm going to the front doors.
Okay, front door,
Follow.
okay, all right.
So you have the glass windows out here that are facing the road, you're gonna walk into the meeting room, and back here, we're gonna have a mayor office and clerk office. So with that being said, above that, you're gonna go into the utility room, which houses the water heater, the AC, all electrical, and you have a ladder up there. That whole area above there is nothing but storage.
So it'd be kind of like the loft that they already had, is that, because we had a loft up there at one time, is that the one you used?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
It's much, it's a legit loft.
Okay,
So,
because 1,000 is supposed to be where we're at.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to allot $15,050 for furniture for the new building, the new city hall.
I'll second.
Diane Schultz.
look at the latest I am. We're getting a $475,000 facility, which costs us nothing at the city level, and we're having to spend some money on it. I don't think still, all in one time, we're doing everything that you had to input, we're gonna be less than $450,000. I think it's still money well spent. Now we have this nice area here for our maintenance department. It's a win-win for us as a city. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but from a standpoint, if somebody told you, I'll give you $500,000 if you give me 40, 50 grand, I'd jump on it every day of the week. And at the same token, we need this area right here, because now we're gonna have a nice area for our maintenance facility. They can actually park all the vehicles inside, they'll have offices. But again, don't please let that change your judgment. You vote how you want to vote.
I'm gonna vote on the concept that we negotiate and try to get a lower price. Under the 15,000, and I will say yes, but I want you to negotiate. I don't want you to just settle for the 15, whatever. I want negotiations to go on, because you can bargain. People are not in business anymore, and these people are struggling, so they're gonna negotiate.
Thank you, Diane.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Trevor Little.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Do you guys have any questions on that? Next on the agenda would be real estate. We've got 3 petitions for annexation. I think you guys all have copies of those. I'll need your guys' approval once you guys are ready to accept those petitions for annexation. We'll have to put it in the newspaper, but what do you run? Jeff, do we let that run for 2 weeks? Is that correct? Or just one time, you give it 14 days?
It just says we have to publish it and have the hearing after it's been published. Chapter 71 was said a number of times, it has to be published, so long as it's published.
Ideally, we'll publish it this week. We'll have another meeting, which our regular meeting for April would be the 5th. We'll have the hearing before the meeting, and then if everything goes good, we will approve the annexation. Does anybody have any questions, concerns on that? That's why we put it on there. If you guys want any copies of these, I'll probably provide you with them too.
Do we have any perimeter of what it is we're trying to annex?
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you.
We have, how far are we trying to annex in?
It's a whole bunch of houses down on 7th and 8th Street.
That's
Okay, so
it.
individual houses?
Yes,
Okay.
individual houses.
Okay.
And these are all voluntary annexation at this point, so, oh, she is, okay.
Yeah.
So, ideally, I mean, that 8th Street, I'll be frank here, that 8th Street, definitely have to use the city's assistance in cleaning up. So my thought process on that, and, getting that annexed into the city would be, then we have constant police presence, we have where they have to obey by our nuisance. So we can clean that up in a fairly timely manner. Now, I will tell you guys, a part of one of these agreements we have, that we had to give some of the individuals up to 90 days, but that still puts us at, where we at? So June, July, they should all be cleaned up. I think the police presence ideally would help that place tremendously, in my opinion.
So 8th Street isn't going to be one of those things where one side of the road is part of the city and the other side isn't part of the
It
city?
will still be,
Because that's a really bad street.
it is. And I will tell you, before, probably up until a year ago, I hadn't been down on that street in many, many years, and I drove down there, and I was very disappointed in what I seen. So I became very passionate in trying to get that as a part of our city, so we can clean it up. So that is our ideal situation, is to clean that up. I think, again, though, me and the marshal talked very long talks about this. I think with police presence and us being down there on a normal basis, so we'll clean up, and I think you'll see it within 6 months, I think we'll have it under control. So there's 2 houses on there now that are not currently part of this. There's the house with all the scrap metal outside of it. And then there's a house that's owned by some company in Arizona. Is that right?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't remember the name, but yes.
There's the one is you're coming up right there and straight across.
Right.
Nobody's lived there for a very long time.
Right.
How about our Earth House?
No, the Earth House is, I know who it's owned by. I'm talking about the house next to it.
Oh, okay, oh, yeah.
So we will be working on that, and I think we will have that taken care of in the near future.
Okay.
Because at this point, they need us as a city, they need our services, so. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Has every homeowner been contacted?
Yes. Other than, we haven't got any response from that house right there, that's owned by some real estate firm that owns it.
Mortgage company, I thought. I don't remember.
To the east of the Earth One.
Yeah.
To the east of the Earth One.
Yeah.
That's the only one we haven't got a response from. The other one that owns all the scrap straight up told us, no, he doesn't want a part of that. I think in the near future, because he's being pressed by some other sources now at the city level, that he will want to become part of that, because there's some other underlying issues there, guys.
So the ones that, you only have 3 properties now that are going to...
There's 3 separate owners. So there's 5 or 6 on the one.
Everything on the right-hand side, Barb, will be annexed in. Everything on the left-hand side, other than the one I'm telling you there, and Mr. Floyd's house, where all the scrap metal is.
It's 3 owners that own a total of
I can show you, as soon as it's over,
We can show you the new footprint.
Okay.
I can show you
Yeah,
city
that
map.
would be good.
Okay.
But I promise you, anybody that lives there, they're not gonna have, Jeff, can I even talk about the other issue, that why they will want to be part of the city?
Yeah, they're all, we've got all those houses down there, a bunch of them got connected to city sewer. And our ordinance say if you want our city sewer services, you have to annex into the city.
Sorry, is
That's
that
really
it?
what- that's
So the house that I was talking about already has been, it's been hooked up to that
It
already.
has.
Right.
So, and part of this, and it's part of our fault, and where the city failed years past, that I don't know if we're gonna, and this is my outlook here, just my opinion, so please, but if you want city utilities, you should be part of the city, in my opinion, guys. Here we are providing you water, we're providing you sewer. At that point, I think, and per our ordinance, you should be annexed into the city. Unfortunately, they failed at that in the past. The other houses, that's why I say they will want to in the near future, that haven't hooked up to city sewer yet, because they are getting pressure from other sources, because basically right now the sewer is free for all, so.
Well, actually, it's cheaper to be annexed into the city for water, because if you're out of the limits, you pay a higher rate.
Well,
But you don't pay property tax.
It probably is a wash. It's probably a wash.
I would say it's very much so a wash. So this is how I figure. Let's say nowadays, let's say like if you have a problem with a well, I'll use one of our houses. We had a problem with a well. It's $5,000 right to replace a well. That's not clean digging it. If you have a problem with the sewer nowadays, what happens? You have to put an engineered system in, $20,000-$25,000 right there. So it's much more cost effective just to pay the extra. And then again, the nice thing about especially that area is then you have police presence. We're not waiting for county to.
Right.
I mean, no offense to county, so please don't take it this way, but that's a pretty far area for them. We're right here. We can take care of them immediately, so. Any questions, concerns?
How do you need a motion?
I will need a motion, guys. Go through that. For the 3 petitions for annexation.
I make a motion to begin the annexation process under RSMO 71.012. For the three petitions we have received, with publication to begin this week and a public hearing to be held on April 5th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I memorized all that.
Diane Schultz,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
So I,
You probably need to abstain.
okay, withdraw my second too?
Oh, yeah.
okay.
I'll second it.
Okay,
And I
sorry.
remain yours.
Two I can and one I can't. Okay.
Oh, we're doing all three documents at the same time?
We are, but he has interest in one of those, we get one on this.
I know. it's
That's
not-
why we're, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And yes, yes.
So sorry, again, Mary Wiles was the first motion, Trevor Warnall was the second, Diane Schultz,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
I abstain.
Mike Knoll,
Yes.
Trevor Warnall,
Yes.
Mary Wiles,
Yes.
motion carried, 4-0.
Do we have any questions, concerns anymore? If not, I need a motion to adjourn, guys.